Before NASA leader Raila Odinga gave his address in Washington about the Kenyan political crisis, his co-principal Musalia Mudavadi spoke exclusively to KTN News reporter Duncan Haimba about the way forward with the NASA People's Assembly. Take a look.
Speaking moments before his co-principal gave an address in Washington, NASA's Musalia Mudavadi revealed the push behind the resistance initiative.
We are also seeing a situation where the judiciary has been under attack. Then we are seeing a system that is in place that is not inclusive. And finally, we are seeing a parliament that is literally muzzled, so to speak, so that even the role of parliament as an independent entity to be able to check the executive, that has been seriously undermined. So clearly there are very fundamental issues that must be addressed if Kenya is supposed to move in the right direction.
NASA has crafted a motion for People's Assembly that has been sent to all the 47 county assemblies. Their goal?
And once the Kenyans have made up their mind and they want a certain change, they can petition for a referendum to facilitate those changes. And let me just say that Kenyans should take these issues seriously, because we have seen that in the so-called sham election of 26th, the voter turnout was below 30%. And out there, you had more than 70% of the registered voters staying away from the polls. So that should tell anybody who wants to be honest about the political situation in this country that they must take that 70% very, very seriously as well. Because faced with a referendum on some of these issues, Kenyans are going to make a very serious decision about a new order.
Regarding their push for an interim government, the principals remain cagey on their preferred structure and says it will not be about NASA or Jubilee.
What is the legitimacy of the people who want to purport that they were voted in and given the mandate on the 26th? That is the fundamental issue here. That can they legitimately say that they have the consent and will of the people of Kenya to govern? I think the message that is coming out is that they did not get that mandate from the Kenyan people. And if they did not get the mandate from the Kenyan people, hence the call for the need for serious dialogue with a transition arrangement being put in place. And then we can go and let Kenyans have a free and fair process where they can choose their leaders without intimidation and manipulation.
The opposition's bottom line is,
whichever way that outcome eventually rolls out or comes out, one fundamental issue is clear, that we cannot afford as a Kenyan people to contemplate going to the 2022 election with a skewed and manipulated rigging machine for the next election.
The National Super Alliance is prevailing upon Kenyans of goodwill to rally behind them to restore democracy and constitutionalism, claiming the governance structure in the country has collapsed.
The current systems and structures are not lending themselves to a proper democratic process in this country. And if we want to see long-term sustainability of justice, peace, and so forth, we must not bury our heads in the sand. We must look at the executive structure of this country, which has become very exclusive. We must look at our institutions and how they are being used to get entangled in political matters. The police system. We are seeing very strange things. The police have been very brutal, trying to force certain issues. Even where there are peaceful demonstrations, it's the police that has been causing the chaos and killing people. We are seeing a situation where the electoral system has completely collapsed.
And should Jubilee's President Uhuru Kenyatta be sworn in, what will be the end game?
They'll just heighten the tension. They'll prolong the political tension in this country because the protests will continue. So they also have a role to play so that this political uncertainty is not prolonged. Surely we must create a system where the vote will count, where the vote will matter. We must create a system where our children and our children's children who choose to engage in politics will go there knowing that it's a fair game. If I lose, I have lost fairly. If I win, I have equally won fairly. What we are seeing through the IBC, the disgraced IBC, is a system that can only create the environment for bloodshed going forward. The IBC must be dismantled.
On Friday, NASA's National Resistance Movement Wing will begin street protests in Nairobi. Duncan Hemba, KTN News.